And this finally wraps up the dungeon arc, the second arc of Black Clover, and you can slightly see that there are being some improvements into the series since obviously the first arc and them following the story a little bit more faithfully. However, with stuff to come as well, I feel like this episode, especially with talking about most of the stuff that happened in this leads as well a good time to talk about more of the future of Black Clover. I kind of know that we did this last time as well with the like ending of the first arc, but I think it's a nice little interesting thing to add in as well, because it's an actual serious question when the handling of this show has been, if anything, fucking rocky. It's been a very weird up-downhill, and whether or not it's going to be going further uphill from here, or is it just going to go further down? So definitely let's talk about the episode before we get into all of that though. As we saw from last week, Asta did get taken out by Mars. This guy, I remember in the manga, I was just like, oh my god, will you stay the fuck down? He just kept getting up and up and up and up, and you just see him every time getting attacked by Asta. First town, he's like, oh, I'm unconscious. No, I'm up. Asta has to take him down again, and he goes down. Nope, still not enough. This is how resilient he is, and especially when he's got combined with healing magic, it's just, yeah, like Mars is a little bit busted in most ways, and it's taking all of these people trying to take him on, trying to deal with him, and it's still not enough, like, for the most part. And it's like, oh my god, Mars. And we get to see a little bit more about why he's such a goddamn weirdo, why he's a little bit crazy in certain ways, because as they've been, like, I'm not even slightly hinting, I don't even know if they're, like, might have been, well, screaming it to the high heavens or not, but yeah, he killed his best friend, Fana, throughout the entirety, like, of, like, this whole big, resilient, like, training thing that the Diamond Kingdom had with these experiments, like, have a giant battle royale, make these giant super soldiers, and whoever survives basically gets the implants and becomes the strongest, and unfortunately Mars is friends with one of them, which ended up to him, like, killing her, and yeah, pretty much scarred childhood and huge torture, you know, all the little things that goes with the character. So it kind of explains why he's a little bit creepy and a little bit, like, he's just like, I need to win, like, he's kind of like in luck in some sort of way, where he's like, oh, I can't lose, I am the strongest, like, and it's like he has no time for like weaklings, you know, all the baddie spiel that you get. And this is when Yuno's whole little trinket that he poured out with the scroll comes into handy, because we get to see that he has a little, like, sylph, like a little fairy, like, alongside of him. And I'm not gonna lie, it looked a little bit more dramatic in the manga bound, and this, it was just like, I kind of felt like, wow, that's how it ends? Like, and then again, I didn't think about that when I was reading the panel as well, but the fact how this fight ends is literally Yuno breaking free, looking through his entire spellbook, time just stops, you see this little sylph there, and it breathes, and it just goes, whoo, like that, and it destroys everything. It destroys Mars, it destroys all his crystallities, and he's just there on the floor, just unconscious as shit, and I'm like, alright, one, that's really powerful, the fact that that wasn't even a full power sylph, like, move that he just used on there. Two, we finally understand what the scroll is. This is some sort of, like, I guess Asta had a power-up, so alongside Yuno got something as well, which is, yeah, we get to find out a little bit more about that in next week's episode, but yeah, let's just say that little thing there is pretty powerful. This in turn made the rest of the episode kind of like, we're going to have to escape from this, like, whole dungeon, and then Asta was like, no, we can't leave Mars behind, because we were here to get we were here just to conquer the dungeon, we wasn't here to kill people. It's like, they tried to get him, but they failed, but don't worry though, Lotus and his gang came in and picked him up, and it was like, hey, Mars has kind of learned a little lesson from this as well, so hey, kind of setting up that we might see the character again, and like a bunch of the like, especially as well with this arc, I think this arc is like a lot better than the first one that we got to see. I think like you had a little bit more reason, that's like oh, Mars had his own reasons, but even still he was like, I'm crazy, and then it's like, oh no, but I had this sad little story down, and it, like, I still think this is the part of Clover where it was learning and it was starting to get better, and till like the next arc, really, I feel like that's where it gets a lot more interesting to me. I feel like that's where like characters start coming out on their own a lot, and that's the thing. Would you like? And I'm still in that weird situation where it's like, Yeah, but would you for the manga? I feel like it's okay, but for like we're talking about this is episode 19. Like if you tell someone, oh, it's alright, it only takes half of the anime's run for the series to get good. There's still like really great moments here and there, and some really enjoyable stuff. But there's also like you can't deny it for like anime, like for the anime watchers as well. You have to trek through like the first like 10 like 13 episodes, so. I'm still in that weird, like, situation where I'm like, would I really recommend the anime for people? I'm still not too sure, because, like, there's still moments where it's like, this bit dragged on a little bit, this bit, like, looked really rough around about here, and, like, it's hard to say, honestly. I honestly still think it's, like, worth watching in some degrees, but I still think, like, this anime is more meant for, like, the people who are just a fan of the mangas. I honestly think, because I know a lot of the time it's like that the anime is there for like, hey, go and get some new people into the series, gonna see if they want to be interested in the manga, because at the end of the day, no matter what fucking people tell you, like animes and all that, they're there to sell you merchandise, they're there to get you interested in the manga, and also as well, a lot of the time, they're there to tell you a story. But those two first things come into consideration first. Selling merch, selling those volumes, and it's like, if it's an anime original, like, as well, like, that's the only time where it's like, we want to, like, sell some mad merch, but also as well tell you a story at the same time. And it's not, and it's the same thing where it's like, you consider stuff like the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, it's there to sell you the cards, it's there to sell you, like, the toys, or, like, the figures and all this, like, but even still, like, that's just how I look at it. It's like, I feel like this is more, like, kind of in that area for a lot of part, and it's just like, I feel like more of the manga fans will enjoy this than kind of new fans, so it's weird. Like, if people are still staying on and they haven't read the manga till this, then fucking good for you. I'm glad that you're really enjoying it on there. But to me, it's like, honestly, if I wasn't such a big fan of the manga for the most part, then yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I might have stopped watching this already. So, other than that, it's time to talk really about... I thought the episode was fine. I thought I enjoyed some parts of it on there, and like a little bit of escape and all that. It had some cute little moments, especially around about the end, where it's like Klaus acknowledged Aster and Yuno for being like magicians. I like that stuff. Like, there were some really nice little character moments in this episode as well, which was definitely more standout than I feel like the Sylph part just blowing Mars away. And now it's the time to talk about where we're at with the series, and clearly with the preview, I think we're just going to go straight into the next arc. We are just going to go straight into the third invasion arc, so we're going to go do that. After that, though, that's the biggest question, because we're now into, like, the 20s now, like, we're now about to get to that point. It makes me wonder, since we're, like, halfway through the series, are we just going to do, like, some of this stuff? Are we going to do the filler, like, the whole, like, little light novel stuff? Because I still feel that's something they want to do, because it's very integral to, like, the actual story. Like, it's actually canon, like, to the manga. Like, there's one light novel that came out, which I believe came... I think it was volume 7 or 6 or so when this came out. So, and that ties a lot to the Witch arc, which we're still ballparking is where the series is going to end. So, it makes me wonder, like, where we're going to be doing with that. Not to mention as well, like, are they going to try and do some anime original stuff? I mean, I still think they could end at that part, but with the invasion arc I think is a little, like, it's got some hefty material into it, and then we've got a few small arcs between the Witch arc, so it makes me wonder, like, it generally makes me wonder where we're going to end up with this series, because it's like, we've been just going straight chapter to chapter, and then the first 13 episodes were just filled with, like, you know, making sure we can get a chapter an episode. So it makes me wonder, like, what was going to go happen now. Although, what really matters is what you guys think in the comment section down below. But that's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.